All right, it's time for the 51st ball drawn. Here we go. Which one will it be? Looks like it will be number 300. Oh, that's good for that. I like the number 300. Very even, very nice. Perfect. Alrighty, next up we have number 101. Dalmatian. Alrighty. Something's going on back there. Alrighty. Next up is 167. Next up is 44. Very nice number. Alrighty. Next up we have 83. Lots of double digits this time around. Alrighty. Next up is 104. Coming up next we have number 106. Very close to 104. What are the chances? Probably not the worst, but... Alrighty, next up is number 385. Lots of giggling going on back there. Next up is 298. Alrighty. Coming up next, we have 361. Next up is 345. Here we go. Next up is number 180.
108?
180. 80. Communications errors, but that's okay. 119. Up next is... that is a... I believe this is an 89. It could be a 68.
No.
Alrighty. It is an 89 for certain. There we go. Perfect. Next up is 266. Ooh, coming up next, we have 105. Oh, that's okay. Next up is 327. Alrighty. Coming up next, we have number 30. Very even number. Very good number. I like that one. Coming up next is number 18. Yes, 18. The bottom circle on the 8 was bigger than the top circle, so it had to be that way. Alrighty, number 355 is next. Coming up next, we have 85. Up next, we have 213. Alrighty, coming up next, we have 192. Coming up next, we have number 39. That's a nice one. Alrighty, next up is 309. Shoved a 0 in that number and got a new one. How fun is that? Alright, next up is 181. Perfect. Next up is 92. Coming up next, we have 242. That is a very good number. Palindrome, even, everything adds up. Next up is 268. Coming up next, we have number 76. Next up, we have 294. Fun number. Fun number. Next up is 311. Coming up next, we have number 54. I love multiples of 9. Those are always fun. Alrighty, coming up next, we have 318. Next up, we have 248. Alrighty. Next up, we have 390. It's a very high number. Considering the numbers we're working with, that's a very high number. Next up is number 133. That's a pretty medium number in terms of what we're working with. Next up is 289. Coming up next, we have 231. I hope I don't misread any of these numbers. That would be embarrassing. Next up is number 306. Coming up next, we have number 50. That is a nice number. Very even. Oh. That's okay. Next up is number 346. Fantastic. Next, we have 290. Very nice number. Numbers ending in zeros are always fun. Next up is number 56. Good number. Next up is number 184. Alrighty, next up is number 183. Ooh. I believe the last one was 184. That's crazy. Was it? Who knows? 239 is the next number. Speaking of next number, the next number is 260. Next up, we have number 161. This is the last one? Alrighty. We're coming up on lucky number 100. Shuffle them up a bit because that's just what you gotta do. And the lucky number 100th ball is 234. Congratulations to number 234.